Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the alert for all future videos. So in my last couple of videos, I have kind of hinted that there's some big changes coming in my life, and there are. Tomorrow is my last day of work after 28 years with this company. So a little bit of background. At the beginning of the year, I was offered a voluntary early retirement that I turned down. I mean, it was a great package, but I really just felt like I wasn't ready mentally, financially to retire. Now, fast forward to the end of 2020, and in hindsight, I should have gotten out while it was good. But so what happened recently was my company went through a reorganization, and my current position, my entire work group, our positions were eliminated. But on the same conversation, we were also sent additional jobs that we could apply for, that we were qualified for. And in speaking with my boss, she was like, oh, absolutely, you should go for this one or this one. So after a sleepless night, I said yes, I would interview. And then after a sleepless night and a long conversation with my husband and a conversation with our financial planner, as well as my sisters, who are always great sounding boards for me, I decided to go ahead and take the package and retire. So the package was great. It was very generous. I feel very confident and comfortable with my decision that I made. But as a planner and a budgeter, this has been a very emotional month for me, as I'm sure it is for anybody who is making this transition from full-time work with a job that you enjoyed, with a company that you've loved and had a great career with, to what I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like for me. But I will say, as far as my budget and our financial situation, fortunately, we have been working towards retirement for years. We've, become debt-free other than our house. We have been very conservative with money, and that was not always the case. We have had debt in our lives. We've had a lot of different financial obstacles. And I really feel like every one of those obstacles that has been put in front of me throughout my life has literally prepared me for this moment, because I wasn't stressed about making a decision. I didn't feel like I needed to take a job I didn't want. And at the end of the day, I feel like this budgeting community, this budgeting plan, Dave Ramsey, and everything that has brought me to today has been such a blessing. Every obstacle has been a blessing, because it's taught me to be really good with money, and it's taught me to stay on a budget, and it's taught me to enjoy budgeting, and I really do enjoy budgeting. And now I'm able to make this decision in total confidence. It is the right decision for both myself and my family. So that being said, you will see a few changes in the month of December, but most of the changes will happen in January. So I'm going to just start. I am not doing a recap for November. And do you want to know why? Because I can't figure it out. I was way over budget. I did so much Black Friday shopping, not really Cyber Monday because it's Sunday today, but I did a ton of shopping this weekend, as I have all month. Completely emotional purchases. I get it. So we're going to just move forward. We're going to extend grace to ourselves, and we are going to get back on track with the month of December. The other thing that happened this month, which kind of threw off my budget, but really I think I used it more an excuse. This little book went missing for about a week and a half. It had fallen out of my purse, and it was in my husband's car. So I didn't track transactions for a week and a half while I was looking for this. Could I have found another piece of paper and tracked them? Yes, I could have. Did it mean that I didn't have a budget? No, it did not. But I acted like it did. So we are going to replace this little book so it will never happen again. And I think I have a little bit better of a system. I've got two options. One I'm going to try in December, one I'm going to try in January. So first excuse. So let's go ahead and get started with the month of December. Now, as far as my income for, December, I'm still being paid for November. We get paid once a month. So there will not be a change in my income for a while due to my severance package, which I can't really talk about because we signed a non-disclosure. What I can say though is when my severance package ends, the amount that I was bringing home, my husband will contribute out of his paycheck. So his paycheck, he retired from the PD, and that is one of our paychecks. His current job though that he works, that entire paycheck gets saved. So one of the agreements we had to come to, you know, when we decided was I didn't want to start drawing from my retirement. So I rolled over my pension, my 401k, I'm going to leave where it is for a while because it's in a retirement growth and it's in a good spot right now. But I am going to go ahead and roll over my retirement. I took it as a lump sum payment, but I'm just reinvesting it, so I'm not paying taxes or being penalized right now. That's what a good financial advisor tells you to do. I personally, out of insecurity, wanted to pay off the house. And he lovingly talked about the fact that my house is at like a 3% interest rate versus the like 6.5% that I'm making currently on my investment. So he's like, it doesn't make financial sense. I know from a security point of view, you want to have it paid off, and that's fine. Keep escalating your payments, but don't take that lump sum money and just pay it off, because at the end of the day, you'll have more money if you do it this way. So I've put it in his hands. He is a great financial planner. But again, these are very emotional decisions, and everybody needs to make their own based on your situation. So what will happen is when my severance package runs out and I don't go back to work, which I don't know what I'm going to do yet, then my husband will match what my income was out of his income and put that money into the joint account to pay bills with. So that right now is the plan. My first instinct was to get a job right away, and then I really decided I've worked every day for 44 years. I literally just want to have one Christmas off in my life. And I really want to spend a little bit more time with my parents who are elderly and not in good health. And I really feel like this is a blessing to give me that time with them while they are here and with us and able to enjoy them. So that being said, let's get started. So I've done kind of a mock one, but it was a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. So my husband and I both get paid tomorrow, which is the 30th. My one daughter pays me $180. My other daughter will start paying me again. She has moved back home for a month and then she moves back out again, but she'll pay me $200. And that covers their phone bill and their car insurance. And we did tell them we're going to keep them on our phone bill, but we're going to have them get their own car insurance, because I actually think they can get a better deal with, you know, well, they're both over 26 now, so that was the reason why we kept them on ours. But I think at this point they can get on their own. So our total income is $10,401. So our mortgage, we're going to keep escalating it at $3,400. Cell phone was $320 because I threatened them with their lives if we went over again. The telephone I will no longer have. I disconnected it, and so I've already made that final payment, so that will come off here. I'm going to redo these for January. Internet is $100, Netflix is $15, water and trash is $98. That one's already come in. Electric I'm estimating at $300. Life insurance is $106. Auto insurance is $303. I just want to take a moment on life insurance. So 5 years ago, I got life insurance outside of my employer because it was something that I had heard on Dave Ramsey. And so I got both my husband and I insurance away from our employers. So when he retired in December, he really wouldn't have had life insurance then because it was really expensive to cover with the city. But I had already had a policy in place. Now with his new job, he has life insurance again, but there's that gap time. So for me, I have life insurance through my employer for the next, severance package time. So for how long that is, but I had already done an outside of my employer insurance because you want to do it when you're younger and you're healthier and there's nothing that would raise that rate up. So I'm glad that I heard that episode of Dave Ramsey, and I'm glad I took that advice, because that is a very peaceful feeling, knowing that no matter what happens in your life, that is secured. I did get term life insurance, and it goes until I think I'm 70, because at that point I should be self-insured. Natural gas is 25. That's an estimate. We don't have cable. Pest control 30 and HOA 75. My subscriptions element is 70 and 16 for Audible. And so that's a total for fixed expenses of $4,858. And then lifestyle. So this is considered a 5-week month. So if you look at the calendar and the way that the weekends fall, and this is my last month in this planner, but I have my new ones ready to go, almost ready to go. So this is the current week, and so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is what I'm budgeting for, is a 5-week month. So I brought giving up to 500, groceries to 600, eating out to 250, clothing at 100, allowance 250, household 180, and I'll explain to you the difference. Entertainment, I'm not going to fund. I never touched what I had for November. Personal care, I'm going to put 50, and I'll explain that later. Medical copay, I always put 100, and I literally spend 100 each time. Craft supplies, no, I'm out of control. Random act of kindness, 20. And then I did add Christmas food for 100, and gas and car wash for 50. So one thing about taking the package for work is I did have a company car, and they will come and pick that up tomorrow, which is my last day. So that was kind of part of our conversation on what am I going to do for a car. So for this month of December, I'm going to share with my daughter, because she's living here until the 1st of January. She works from home. She very rarely goes out. And we loaned my niece our truck. So I don't want to take it back from them, because they need it as well. So between my husband's car and my daughter's car, I have a vehicle to drive this month, and then I'll kind of walk you through what we're doing going forward. So I figured I would definitely gas up her car and wash it, because it has not been washed lately. And so I wanted to budget for that. I may need more than that. I don't know. I very rarely drive now, and that's one thing about having a company vehicle. They paid for the car, the gas, the insurance, maintenance, all that, which has been fantastic for, 28 years. So at this time, I need to start incorporating that into my budget. So once I decide what I'm going to get, then you'll see where that comes back in. So my sinking funds have changed around a little bit. So this emergency fund that I said I just wanted, it wasn't our main emergency fund. It was what I called my emergency fund, has now become a car fund. Maybe it was just an omen telling me that I should start saving. So there's currently $7,111 in there. I'm going to add another 1,000. Let me just write this down right there. So my total fixed expenses, let me just go back here and get this. 7,858. Lifestyle is 2,200. Debt snowball, we don't have debt right now. So sinking funds, that left me with 3,343. So just to kind of walk you through, because I get a lot of questions, is you take your income and then you subtract your fixed expenses, 48, and you subtract your lifestyle. And then if you had debt, you would subtract that, and that comes to your last total, which is what is left to save, invest, or funnel into another category. So I have 3,343 left out of our paychecks. So I'm going to put 1,000 into the emergency fund. And then Christmas, I just withdrew a lot from this. And I wish I could say that it was all Christmas gifts, but it was not. So from my 3,100 that I had at the end of the month, I have 1,443 left. So I'm adding another 1,500, and hopefully I don't spend that 1,500, but I just wanted to get back to where I wanted to be, which was $3,000. So whatever is left here will just stay in this account, and it will just go into the following year. So fitness is 200. I'm not going to fund it this time. I was saving because when the Lifetime Fitness opened up, part of my company's package was you could join for like $25 a month as long as you went 4 times. So obviously I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have a $109 gym payment. So I'm going to just try to work out at home. I definitely will have time. And if I find that I need different equipment or whatever, I may join the same gym that my daughter goes to, which is Mountainside, and it's $35 a month. So I'm kind of still deciding if it's worth it to me or not. But I do have the $200 here if there's a joining fee or to like start to save up some of the months to pay. I always like to pay up front because usually you get a better deal, but we'll see. Medical, I still have 100. Vacation is 2,350. I always add in my expense check of 121. And so that will be 2,471 will be in that. And I have no vacation plans until June. So that should be fine. House reno is now Etsy shop. So one thing that I feel like is going to be a great opportunity is I now have time to actually work on my shop. So I am completely overhauling the shop, I should say, the shop as far as products, the look of it, you know, social media, everything. And I'm using this time with my daughter being home to pick her brain and make her work with me on it. So I currently in the house reno account had $142 left. I'm adding $602 to the Etsy shop. So I have been really just funding Etsy through what I had kind of, you know, any profits I've had, I've just put back into the account. But at this point, I feel like what I want to do is going to be new equipment. I've definitely bought a lot of new supplies and new papers and things that I want to do with the shop. So some of that money has already come out here. And so I just need to replenish that. So that is my plan. And then technology, I have 832, and this is for new phone, new iPad, if something breaks. I'm not going to fund it this month, but my goal is to have 1,500 just sitting there. So my total sinking funds as they sit today is 12,178, and then 3,343 is what I'm adding, and we don't know yet what we'll take out. So we'll do that at the end of the month. So that is how my budget looks for December. It's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. Most of the work is controlling my emotional spending, but that's a different conversation for a whole different day. So let's go ahead and get started on cash stuffing, because that's always my favorite part of the day and of watching other people's budget. So I have not printed the kit for this part, so I'll print that and I'll have it up for next week's video. But this was the kit I chose for the month of December. I had to use something with red in it. So I went ahead and laid it down so that you guys did not have to watch me struggle. So I'll go ahead and write in here. So I always start my budget on this, and then I fill it out based on how I walk through it. So paycheck number 1, paycheck number 2, Megan's bills, Hannah's bills, my final expense check, Okay, so for my car fund, I am adding, and I do the Capital One 360 savings account, and you can nickname them. And if you go to the full site versus the app, you can change their nickname. So that's what I did this morning. All their nicknames got changed. And that's just to help me when I'm transferring money in from my credit union. I can see based on the nickname and the balance which account it is, because I have transferred it into the wrong one before when it wasn't as clear. And then technology. Oh, and then Amazon Prime, I do need 120. It is due on the 6th of January. So I'm just going to put 120 here. And I'm going to take it out of my Etsy shop. So that'll be 482. I looked it up this morning because I knew it was January, but I couldn't remember if it was the beginning of the month or the end of the month. So I went ahead and planned for it in December because it's like the 6th, I think. Okay, so that is sinking funds set up. And then on our fixed expenses, mortgage is $3,400. AT&T already came out at $350. Water was $98. Electricity, I'm budgeting $300. It was like $250 last year for December, but you never know, or for November, but you never know anymore. Internet is $100. Natural gas, I said $25. Netflix is $15. Elements is $70. Audible is $16. Clothing, I budgeted $100. This is kind of becoming a sinking fund, I think. Medical, $100. Life insurance, $106. Auto insurance, $303. Now this will change once we take the girls off, but then put whatever car I get on. Pest control, $90. HOA is $75. And gas, car wash, I did $50. So our HOA and our pest control are done quarterly. And so what I do is I just divide that amount by 3. And then I put that away so that when it's due, the month that it's due, I'm not coming up with the full amount. And when I say put it away, I basically leave it in the count and just kind of earmark it. So let's go ahead and do our check-in. To draw lines here. So because it's a 5-week month, the way well, that's not even close. Okay, yeah. Why don't we just do this? This is why I use erasable pens. You think with a ruler, I could make them straight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this one. And then I'll put the other ones on later. Okay. So for groceries, our budget is $600. For eating out, $250. For allowance, $250. For giving, $500. Entertainment, I have $100 left from last month, so I'm just going to put $100 here. Household is $300, but I'm only stuffing the second half because I still have money left from last month, and personal care is $100. So this kind of messed me up last month with what the budget was, what I was cash stuffing. So I think this time I'm going to just leave it this way and go with it. Now this month, as far as my transactions, I'm going to do 2 different tests. So I went back to my personal rings planner, which I've always loved, but you know, I figured since I'm not going to be home at a desk all day long on the computer, I want something that's a lot more portable. So this is what I first came up with to track transactions. So it's a task management form from Peanut Planner Co. It's a printable. And so I have groceries, eating out, subscriptions, giving, fixed household, personal care, allowance, and then I'm going to put sinking funds over here. So I did color code them with the stickers that I use for transactions, and then I'll fill in the budgets here. Then the second one that I may do, and I went ahead and wrote out an example. So this is from Annie Plans Printables. So yesterday she had 50% off her whole shop. So I bought different inserts that I'm using for both this planner and another one. Gotta save some money where you can, right? So this is how I would use this one. So 12.1 would be Walmart. I spent $90, so I have a $510 balance with a budget of $600. So I would kind of use it. It is a checkbook register. I would use it just like that, but I would date the transactions and then I would highlight them when I put them into the planner. So I really think this is what I'm gonna like, but I really wanna go ahead, since I already set this one up, try this one and see if this one works as well. But this one will slip right in here. In fact, I'm gonna put it in here for, well, actually, yeah, I did set one up in here. So this is the one that I set up, and I just use, again, the stickers with grocery, and then I'll put my budget down. So each category will have its own page. And I could, like for subscriptions, this could be 6 months worth of subscriptions because I only have 2. So I don't need like a page a month for those, but like groceries or eating out might need a page or a half. So this will be my January plan. So I'll let you know. And that way I don't have to worry about carrying one additional little book for transactions, and I don't need to worry if it gets lost. Not again, I totally use that as an excuse to just be crazy and spend whatever I wanted to spend. So I'm gonna be super honest about it, take ownership of it, and move on. So for those of you, a lot of you, I will say a lot of you, when I asked your why on budgeting, it was early retirement. 2 things that I was kind of surprised about that I should have expected, because going through my husband's retirement, what is how emotional it is. And it's really a loss of identity and a loss of, you know, like a purpose. And so I, you know, originally knee-jerk reaction was like, I need to go back to work. And it doesn't matter where I work, I just need to have a job. And then when I was talking to my daughter, she's like, you just don't know how to relax, and you don't know how to enjoy yourself. You know, if you asked a millennial if you wanted to get paid and not work, they would be like, yes, sign me up. And she's absolutely right. I do not know how to relax. So I'm going to take this opportunity to, at least for December, maybe part of January, to just do the things I want to do that I really never gotten a chance to do because I've always worked full time. You know, whether it be to go to Bible study in the middle of the afternoon, which why are they always in the middle of the afternoon? I don't know. To work on my skills, to work on my Etsy shop, which I love doing, to go for a walk, to exercise, to kind of just work on my wellness, to journal. So all of these things that I will schedule in time for, because what I find about myself when I'm not going at 180 miles an hour, I am going at 0. So I'm laying in bed watching Hallmark movies, which I don't think would be really healthy for me to do for the whole month of December. So a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time to read, a little bit of time to watch Hallmark movies is absolutely right. I find that I just need to schedule my time so that I'm productive, but just also enjoying life and relaxing a little bit. So I did just read a book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Outstanding book. It was written by a pastor, cannot remember his name right now, I'll link it below. And he basically was a pastor of a mega church and just had a meltdown, had a complete burnout. You know, his life was completely out of balance. And he started to research, you know, why do we feel like we need to excessively look at our phones, and why do we always need to be busy, and why do we need to schedule every minute of our day? And he made a really smart comment. I mean, a lot of smart comments, but one that has just stuck in my brain, that he said a plan or a schedule is what time is to money is to your budget. So for an example, if you budget your money telling it where to go, a schedule tells your time where to go, because that is your one resource that is limited. So he talked a lot about scheduling in fun, scheduling in things you want to do, scheduling in things you have to do, versus just letting the day kind of take you where it needs to be. And also scheduling one day of just a disconnect. So socially, you know, mentally, physically, just to be able to disconnect and just, you know, kind of reset your brain and then go back into it when you need to. So I've listened to the book once already. I'm sure I'll listen to it many times again, but it really has been helping me to understand like why I feel the way I do and why I'm worried about what I'm worried about, which is, you know, not feeling like I've had a productive day when I'm used to having a productive day. I'm used to having deadlines and schedules. So if you are wanting to retire early, I highly recommend that you read that book, because it is such an adjustment. And I had to apologize to my husband because I did not understand it. When he retired, I was like, yay, good for you. You know, stay home, relax, go play golf. And 3 weeks later, he went back to work. So I did not understand at the time why it was an emotional thing for him. I didn't understand the loss of identity. So that is what I'm going through right now. And hopefully you all will have the same opportunity, because I know that is a huge goal for a lot of you on why you're budgeting today. So here we go. So as I mentioned, last month was completely, well, the end of the month. Up until that part, I was doing okay. And then last week was just crazy. So here are my tabs, completely empty. I honestly had some money left, but I had taken out money from my checking account so that I had money to spend. So this $56, I think, is here, or not even that. 20, 30, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Okay, 20, 30, 45, 50. This $54 is going back into the bank because it should have never come out of the bank, but it did. So I'm not even counting this as money left over, because actually I added money into the budget. So it goes back to the bank. Okay. So the first thing, let me go ahead and grab the envelopes. My daughter and son-in-law were in quarantine being tested for COVID. So while they were home, I was doing their grocery shopping, and my daughter's like, let me pay you. And I'm like, don't worry about it, because, you know, I don't have a budget. So just out of control. Anyway, so for groceries, I'm going to just take my receipts out of there from last month. And so I'm going to do 150 for this week, and 150 will go into my envelope for next week. And I am grocery shopping today, so I did want to get this video done first. What I found last week, because I had gone to the grocery store and gotten things for dinner, and then every night my husband's like, I don't really want that. And I'm like, well, then next week, meaning today, he has to sit with me while I meal prep and tell me what he wants and doesn't want, because we ended up going out to dinner every time he didn't want what I had decided we were going to have. So can't use that as an excuse for this week. So for my allowance, I am putting 50 under my tab for this week, and then 50 goes into my envelope for next week. And because I get questions on it, my envelopes and the budget kits are from my shop, Etsy, my Etsy shop called Pretty Productive. There is a link in the description. Right now and through the end of tomorrow, the 30th, my shop is 30% off for the weekend. And then there's always a code on my YouTube description for 20% off for people that view my videos. So you can always find that. And if you can't find the code, just reach out and I will let you know what that code is. So for eating out, I'm giving myself $250 for the month. So I'm gonna start with 50. for this week and 50 in my envelope for next week. Now my budget last month was 200 and I probably spent about 350 if I added it up. Yeah, I think we went out almost every night. So eating out, it needs to be under control. Okay, so bank, I am putting the $54 in here. That needs to go to my next cash stuffing. You know, I never put the money back in the bank. I just add it to the money I'm gonna pull out for cash stuffing, so. Okay, so personal care. I always budget $100. I did have a massage finally and get my hair cut for November. So I still have $50 in here. So I'm gonna add another 50 and then that will be it for the month. I did already book my next massage and I'm having a pedicure on Tuesday. 40, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So that is 50 plus the 50 I have in here. So just 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So the funny thing was when I was out of money, I didn't even think to pull from my envelopes. I literally just went to the bank, which I guess I'm glad because now the money's here in the envelope and I at least kept some of it under control, but honestly, not enough. So there we go. So entertainment, I am not funding. I have 35 in here from last month plus 65 in the account. And we have not gone to the movies. We have literally not done anything. But there's a couple things I would like to do this Christmas since I'm going to be off. One is we had gone and looked at lights and we went out for hot chocolate, things like that. So some of those things that are kind of very unique to the month of December, whether we go to zoo lights. I don't know if your zoo has that, but in Arizona, they're amazing. And then we have a downtown area called Glendale Glitters where there are like little handmade shops and things like that. So that's where this money will probably go to in the month of December. And then household, she did not clean it all last month because she had a really busy month. So I still have 120 in here. So I'm not going to fund this envelope until my second time that I pull out cash for cash stuffing. So this stays in here for when she cleans. And I need to get her on the schedule. Tithing is definitely an online, our pastor was just diagnosed with COVID-19. So even though they're still gathering and there's still other pastors doing it, again, it was just another reason why I'm just not comfortable still. So I'm gonna go ahead and still give online and watch church online. And so gifts is actually clothing, and I need to make an envelope for this one. So I'm giving myself $100 a month. I do need to buy a couple of things like some different winter shirts. I mean, it finally dipped down to the 70s here in Arizona, so I'm starting to think about winter. So in here should be 100, so 50, 70, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, and then I'm gonna add another 100 for this month, and then this will be, I won't add to that this month, that's already there. Okay, I'm gonna take all of these receipts out of there. This little binder, another question I got from Amazon. I think right now they're like $7. I think I paid $9 at the time, but it fits the envelopes perfectly. It's basically the personal size and it comes in many colors. I've just kind of been in a pink mood lately. And then these envelopes are kind of a new one that I'm testing. And then I have a different envelope that I will have coming out too in 2021. And And then this is my extra money goes in for Disneyland. I don't know when Disneyland is going to open, or if Disneyland is going to open up again, but we did buy annual passes right before. We bought them in November, so they have extended them, but again, until they're open, it doesn't really matter. Oh, let me put the bank one back in here. I guess the fact that this was out of sight, out of mind helped me to not spend that money too. So these tabs go into my wallet. And then when I go to get a massage or get my nails done, then I take the personal care and put it in my wallet under its tab. And then that way I don't spend anything from here. I spend it from here and then I'm done. But we won't even go there. So that is cash stuffing for December week 1 as far as the December setup. You see how we did that, how the budget rolls out. Next month, I think what you're going to see is whether we buy a car or not. We're kind of going back and forth about what I want versus what my husband wants, because I really don't care and he does, so we'll see how that is. I will receive my annual budget, my annual bonus, as well as vacation time that they owe me. So those will be lump sum payments. So those two I'm going to put right into my car sinking fund so that it can grow a lot faster, and then we'll pull the balance out of our savings account so that we won't have a car payment. So, you know, I'll kind of walk you through our mindset on that one. So that is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are all doing well, staying healthy, and are kind of navigating through the end of this year. I don't know about you, but I am so happy for 2020 to be done and just a fresh start into 2021. Hopefully it's not a continuation of this year. So have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for watching, and please continue to put your why in the description. I am very close to getting to my number of subscribers I need for my second giveaway, and then there'll be a third giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for your support of both my channel as well as my Etsy shop. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great week. Thank you.